Okay, I'm gonna try and make this as short, sweet, and simple as possible. There is two Vanguard builds for that are pretty much viable for. Well, actually, no. There's probably plenty of builds, but like these are the two best for sure for operations and stratagems and stuff. So basically, there's one for solo and there's one for playthroughs of like a full group. So for a solo, I'll do the solo one first because I tend to just do the true solo ones first. So that's what I mostly play now. Is just true solo playthroughs. Yeah, I have no friends. Basically, for the true solo variant, you want the melter rifle because it's the best primary weapon for when you're surrounded by just a bunch of enemies in front of you, which is the use case for the melter rifle is you want to be able to just spray this and get rid of large groups of enemies in front of you. We have the ammo variation here because you just want to be able to shoot more. 15 shots and 24 shots. There's a big difference between these two, and trust me when I say that. Even with the ammo variant, 24 might not seem the most. Uh, might not seem like the most amount of ammo when you're constantly shooting this thing to just like get fucking enemies off of you. Here's the perk tree. You want to have like this ammo stuff really. Um, and this one's really important because getting that one shot after finishing a Majoris is like really big. With this solo build, you're kind of just always doing executions. You're rarely gonna like finish off enemies with gun strikes because executions give you back your melter rifle ammo, and they also give you 5% HP, which you don't get this if you like gun strike something. Now, uh, for the other build, I'll talk about later. We have this. Yeah, you know what? I'll talk about later. But yeah, for now, all I'm gonna say is the melter rifle is definitely the best for solo playthroughs. For the Neo Volkite pistol, being the best secondary in its true solo run might be seem a, like it might just seem a little sus to you guys because this tends to be slandered as like one of the worst pistols, maybe the worst pistol in the game, and I do agree it is definitely one of the worst. But it has the most use case for a true solo run of Vanguard because the other pistols you are kind of just aiming down and shooting and like you're kind of committing to it, while the Neo Volkite pistol you can kind of just like reload it very quickly and you can just hip fire it for like the longest amount of time and to keep like sustained damage, which is like really important because when you're fighting like a Carnifex or a Hellbrute or something, what you can do is you can just stay point blank in front of it and just spray the Neo Volkite pistol at it for a long ass time because you have so much ammo in the mag, and even if you have to reload, it's very quick. And then when they finally try to hit you, you can just block it with the power axe. They for like a Carnifex, you usually have to block twice because it has like a quick 1-2 combo, and then you like just power wave and get like a ton of damage. And that's like the most reliable way to like safely kill a Terminus enemy that I found for Vanguard. So yeah, you just want to like spray the Neo Volkite pistol and then just power wave that motherfucker. That is basically like how you want to take on Terminus enemies. So because of that, the Neo Volkite pistol does seem like the best for a true solo run of Absolute on Space Marines 2. Now, Power X, we have the block variation. Balance is definitely better for more offensive playstyle, but the Vanguard is more like a defensive tank that wants to like keep getting finishers to like regenerate HP and stuff like that. So for that reason, we have the block variation because you have more of a defensive playstyle. For the perks, Upper Hand is definitely the best one in this category. Melee Master is like whatever, like it's cool to have the extra damage, but you mostly just want to have having knockback protection is basically like it's just so important. Like if you see knockback protection in a perk tree, you usually just go for it because it's just that good. So yeah, being able to have knockback protection after a perfect parry or block or dodge is really important. Like if you like perfect dodge something and want to go for the gun strike to get the damage, well, you can just do that for free because the worst thing that can happen is you just take damage to your armor and then you get it back right after you get the finisher because you're not going to get knocked down for doing the gun strike because of Upper Hand. For the perks here, this Duelist is like we don't care about this. Close combat focus has an argument to be better than Conviction, but like Conviction is definitely better when like like when it comes up, because when your armor is actually depleted, having that damage reduction is so big compared to like range damage reduction, because like conviction shields you also from melee damage. Like a lot of the time in absolute, when I'm playing Vanguard and I notice my armor is depleted, it's because there's like extremists or carnival like terminus enemies just like in melee distance of me all together, just constantly wailing on me. So yeah, because I think conviction is better. And then the final one is consecutive execution. It's just like the assault perk, where you get an equipment charge back, which is like nice. Being able to like reset melta bombs or crack grenades if you have to use that is just so good when you're in like a sticky situation. So because of that, you usually want to take this. This one is like very situational, and to be honest, I would much prefer to have my melter rifle reloaded at times, because to get me out of like bad situations, because it's kind of like a shotgun that you're supposed to use against hordes. And then this, whatever the fuck this is like awful. Don't use this one. Unmatched Steel, this is definitely like, this is actually this is by far one of the best team perks in the game, period. But yeah, it's on Vanguard, and yeah, you get 30% HP for any squad member when you execute an extremist or terminus, which is just like, no, that's just really fucking good. Health recovery is just really broken. It's really nice. Now for a solo run, I would say that Tip of the Spear is better than Zone of Impact, because you're not really spamming executions with as much with this build. You kind of just want to like survive. So because of that, I would say Tip of the Spear is better, because it just like helps you take less range damage. Sorry, it helps you do more range damage with your melter rifle to enemies that you dive kick. You're not really spamming executions as much, because you also don't have tactical prowess. You have a different signature perk, so because of that, I would say this one's just a bit better. And then the best perk or signature perk for a solo run is Adrenaline Rush, because you get to get your 5% HP back for killing Majoris, and like you're killing a lot of Majoris enemies, trust me. So this will stack up over time. So yeah. Oh yeah, the prestige perks. I didn't go over this in my assault video. I might have to redo that. So okay, I'll go over the prestige perks. So the most important one is probably launch restoration. This gives you back an armor segment every time you use grappling launcher, which is like really big. That way you can use a grappling launcher when you're in a bad situation, and hey, maybe it gets you an execution or like the damage that you need. And because of that, you also get an armor segment. So that could just give you like 2 armor segments at times if you like get an execution on Majoris with the grapple. Fortitude, extra HP. What else is there to say? It's just nice to have that. Battlefield awareness. Basically, this is just nice damage for the melter rifle. If they're close to you, then you do 10% more damage. Simple stuff. And this one, restoration. Yeah, more armor segment survivability stuff. Really, really important. To be completely honest, I don't really like. There's not many other good perks between the 4 that I asked you guys. Like when performing gunstrike, you know, control. Like you already you don't need this because you have upper hand, and then this one's just like whatever. Like who cares about this? And then this one is like only helps you when you're already in like a bad situation. The only thing I could see you maybe swapping is you get rid of battle awareness, you run Indomitable Spirit, and then you swap this to melee mastery. That's like the only thing I could see you maybe doing. But to be completely honest, upper hand also gives you stuff on like perfect blocks and stuff, while this is just for performing gun strikes. So I would still say this version is just a good bit better. So yeah, this is the true solo variation. For a playthrough with other people, you're going to be running a different build. So this time you're going to be using the Instigator Bolt Carbine. This is just like the most versatile weapon. So because of this, you can do a lot of damage long range, a lot of damage mid range, and it still does a good amount of damage close range. Not as good as the melter rifle, but hey, it's very good at every range is the whole thing. You basically just want to take this perk tree. It's just like damage, ammo, all that good stuff. Restore armor segment, blah 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 blah. Like, and you basically just want to aim for headshots only, getting a lot of headshots, and this weapon just does like so much damage. Yeah, so like in a playthrough with other people, there's gonna be like less times you're just swarmed in the face, and more times where like maybe you're like picking enemies off at like mid or long range, where this will come up more often. Now for the pistol, the heavy bolt pistol, just for like gunstrike damage, is probably the best. If you're running out of ammo a lot, I would say use this ammo variation, but I feel like how often I'm finishing enemies with like the grapnel, how much I'm spamming the grapnel launcher and just doing melee attacks instead. I would say this one's better just to like, not let enemies get the scream off. So yeah, this one's probably the best one besides that. And then for the weapon, you're still just using the block power axe. Yeah, stay alive, get your block charges, get your power waves, do damage, cool stuff. And then the two perks I changed. So basically, you're using Adrenaline Rush and Tip of the Spear, but now you can kind of just spam executions because your teammate might have like a bulwark or like there's less enemies to worry about. So you want to like play more into like your offensive capabilities. So because of that, you can use tactical prowess, which will make it so that if an enemy is within 33%, they just become incapacitated and you can kill them. And then because of that, it also gives you your charge back, so you can you can grapnel a enemy that's close to dead, get your charge back, execute, get zone of impact here, which will give an AoE damage to like all the enemies that you just on the guy you just finished. All the enemies around him, they're gonna take damage, and then maybe one of those guys is gonna be executable or close to executable, and then you just, since you got your grapple charge back, you can just use it again on one of those guys and just like loop that over and over and spam that. Now because your damage output is like so much higher in a group, this is just like a lot better because the scenario will just keep happening over and over with you. But in a solo playthrough, you won't be doing much damage, so you kind of just want to like play for survivability with Adrenaline Rush. And then this one's just like the best to pair with Adrenaline Rush out of all the ones here. So yeah, this is essentially the two different builds that you can do with Vanguard that are best for Space Marines 2 patch 12.1 or 2. And that's pretty much all you need to know. So hope you guys enjoy. Peace.